Hi, my name is NURHASNEEZA NORHISHAM and my matrix number is 202260836. So now, I will explain you the function of a urinary system. Numerous processes carried out by the urinary system are critical to preserving homeostasis. The process by which the body keeps its internal environment constant is known as homeostasis. This function includes maintaining water, electrolyte, and acid-base balance. The kidneys play a crucial role in regulating the balance of water, electrolytes such as sodium, potassium, and chloride, and acids in the body. This balance is essential for various physiological processes, including nerve conduction, muscle contraction, and maintenance of blood pH by selectively reabsorbing or excreting ions and water. The kidney ensures that the composition of bodily fluids remains within a narrow range compatible with life. The primary function of the kidneys is to filter the blood continuously as blood flows through the intricate network of tiny blood vessels in the kidney. Glomeruli, water, ions, and small molecules are filtered into the renal tubules. Subsequently, essential substances are reabsorbed back into the blood, while waste products such as urea, creatinine, and uric acid are retained in the urine. Next, urea and creatinine as a byproduct of protein metabolism. Urea is a nitrogenous waste product resulting from the breakdown of proteins in the liver. Proteins are composed of amino acids, and when they are metabolized for energy or eliminated, urea is formed. The urinary system efficiently removes urea, preventing its accumulation in the bloodstream, which could be harmful, and creatinine is produced in muscles during the breakdown of creatine phosphate, a compound that provides energy for muscle contraction. The kidney filter creatinine, ensuring the elimination from the body. Monitoring creatinine levels is crucial in assessing kidney function, as elevated levels may indicate impaired filtration. Furthermore, uric acid and other waste materials. Uric acid is a byproduct of the breakdown of urines compounds found in certain foods and body cells. The urinary system aids in removing uric acid, preventing its accumulation and the formation crystals, which can lead to conditions like gout. Additionally, other waste materials are filtered out to maintain the body's cleanliness and prevent the buildup of harmful substances. Next, urine formation and excretion. The filtered substances along with excess fluids are processed in the kidneys to form urine. The urine is then transported to the urinary bladder to temporary storage. When the bladder reaches a certain capacity, it contracts and urine is expelled through the urethra, completing the process of waste elimination from the body.
Assalamualaikum, my name is NABILAH binti SHUHAIMI and my student ID is 2022 801062. So I will start with the structure of the urinary system. So as you can see from the picture shown here, it consists of two kidneys which produce urine, two ureters which will drain the urine from the kidneys to the bladders, and one bladder which stores the urine until you are ready to urinate, and lastly is urethra to drain the urine out of the body. The urinary system also referred as the urinary tract.
Hi, I am Sarah Nabilah binti Sulaiman and my student ID is 20224711132. So now I will explain about kidney. A kidney, also known as renal. The kidney are a pair of pin-shaped organs. These kidney are situated in the retroperitoneal area, with one position on each side of the vertebral column, below the diaphragm, and beneath the rib cage. Retroperitoneal means behind the peritoneum, which is the membrane that lines the abdominal cavity. The kidneys constantly filter the blood to remove waste product and excess water. These are excreted as urine, which is 95% water and 5% of urea. roughly 150 to 200 quarts of blood are processed every day, producing 1 to 2 quarts of urine. Now, let's moving on to kidneys function. Kidneys function are kidney is an organ that is responsible for filtering blood and excreted waste which are then excreted as urine. The kidneys produce hormone that assist control your blood pressure, produce red blood cell and also keep your bones healthy. The next one is renal excretion. Kidneys eliminate harmful waste product, preventing their build-up and also maintaining a healthy internal environment. Then, fluid balance. By regulating water and electrolyte levels, kidneys ensure proper hydration and blood pressure control. The last one is vitamin D activation. Kidneys activate vitamin D for healthy bone and calcium absorption. Moreover, the functions of filtration, which are the size smaller molecules like waste products such as urea and creatinine, excess water, and also electrolytes, for example, sodium and potassium, can squeeze through the tiny gaps between endothelial cell lining the capillaries. The next one is selective permeability, which is specific transporter on the endothelial cell allow for targeted filtration of certain molecules like glucose, which is then reabsorbed in the later stages. So now, let's moving on to renal cortex and medulla. The renal cortex is the outer layer of the kidney where the filtering units of the kidney begins. It is involved in kidney functioning such as electrolyte balance, blood pressure, and also red blood cell production. The cortex surrounds the inside of organ, which is called the medulla. The renal cortex itself is covered by the renal capsule, which is a layer of tougher protective tissue. The renal cortex is where the nephron begins. The next one is renal medulla. Renal medulla is the inner part of kidney located between the renal cortex and renal pelvis. It consists of cone-shaped renal pyramid that contain the blood vessel and tubular structures of nephrons. The medulla helps regulate the concentration of urine by filtering out water, salts, and acid.
So inside the kidney, there are nephrons. So the picture here shows a kidney with a nephron in close-up. So nephrons found in the kidney and are the microscopic functional units of each kidney. A nephron is where the urine is produced through the processes of filtration, reabsorption, and secretion. Reabsorption is the return to the blood of some of the substances that were removed during filtration. So why nephron is the functional unit of kidney? It's because they are responsible for removing waste from the body. So each kidney is composed of over 1 million nephrons. And both kidneys of healthy young adult have on average of 1.8 to 2 million nephrons. And lower or loss of nephrons is critical to pathology diseases. In each nephron contains a glomerulus. So a glomerulus is the main filtering unit of the kidney. It is a cluster of capillaries surrounded by a cup-shaped membrane called the Bowman's capsule and a renal tubule. Each glomerulus is located at the beginning of the nephron. So glomerulus have thin walls that allow smaller molecules, waste and fluid, mostly water, to pass the tubule. Blood enters the kidney through the renal artery and flows into the nephrons. And after passing through the filtration system of glomerulus, the filtered blood containing proteins and blood cells leaves the kidney and returns to the bloodstream through the renal vein. And the remaining filtrate flows into the renal tubules where elements including some water, sugar and electrolytes are returned to the bloodstream via a nearby capillary. And then the remaining waste products are continuously converted into urine, which is transported to the renal, pelvis, and collected in preparation for entry into the ureters. However, if waste products are not efficiently removed from the bloodstream, the body cannot maintain a homeostasis with a stable balance of electrolytes and other substances.
And now I will talk about the renal pelvis. The renal pelvis constitutes a vital component within each kidney, distinguished by its distinctive funnel-shaped structure and positioning amid the renal cortex and medulla. As an integral part of the kidney's intricate anatomy, the renal pelvis assumes a pivotal role in the final stages of urine formation. Acting as a central reservoir, it serves as the gathering point for the freshly generated urine originating from the microscopic filtering units known as nephrons. These nephrons meticulously filter blood, extracting water, electrolytes, and waste products to craft urine. Once the renal pelvis accumulates this newly formed urine, it initiates the subsequent phase of its journey through the urinary system.
My name is NAJIHA SAFIA binti ZANAL ABDIN, ID number 2022-859 and 158. And now I would like to talk about the ureters. The ureters are two narrow tubes that are about 10 to 12 inches long. The main function of ureters is to transport urine from the kidney to the bladder. The ureters are located on either side of the spine, attached to each of the kidneys to the bladder. The upper part of the ureters were located in the abdomen, while the lower half were located in the pelvis. In the abdomen, the ureters are situated behind the peritoneum, which is the membrane lining the abdominal cavity. Meanwhile, in the pelvis, the ureters cross along the side walls. The difference between males and females is, in males, they will pass beside the prostate and seminal vesicles, while in females, they will run alongside the uterus. Urine will move from the ureters into the bladder through the ureteral orifices in the wall of the urinary bladder. The ureters consist of 3 layers of wall. The fibrous coat, which is the outer supporting layer of the fibrous connective tissue. The second layer is muscular coat, which consists of inner circular and smooth muscle. And the inner layer is mucosa, a transitional epithelium that is along the lining of the renal pelvis and the urinary bladder. This layer secretes mucus that coats and helps protect the surface of the cells. The ureters transport urine using peristalsis, which is a series of wave-like contractions that helps move the urine down to the bladder. Next, I am going to talk about urinary bladder. The urinary bladder is a hollow in the shape of an oval and muscular organ that acts as storage for urine before it is expelled out of the body. The urinary bladder is located in the anterior portion of the pelvic cavity behind pubic symphysis. There are differences between male and female bladder position. As for the males, the bladder is situated in front of the rectum and above prostate glands, while in females, the bladder is located in front of the uterus and vagina. An average adult bladder generally produces about 2 cups of urine, and the urge to urinate is triggered when the bladder is filled with quarter of its capacity. However, as a person ages, their bladder becomes less elastic and will cause the person to urinate more frequently. Besides that, an average male can store up to 700 milliliter, while a female can store up to 500 milliliter of urine. The urinary bladder is lined with rugae, that is a series of ridges produced by folding of the wall of an organ, similar to the internal surface of the stomach. These folds allow it to expand when it's full and contract when it is empty.
Hi, my name is Puteri Irene and my student ID is 2022-937-721. Finally, I will be explaining about the urethra. The tube extending from the bladder to the exterior of the body is called the urethra. It is the organ that carries urine from the bladder to the perineum's external opening. Mucus-secreting glands shield the stratified columnar epithelium lining it from the corrosive urine. To put it simply, two ureters transport urine from our two kidneys to the bladder where it is held until we urinate. Hence, our urethra has a hole at the end where urine exits our body. Moving on, urethra is a passageway located in the body's pelvic region. The thin walls of the tube consist of smooth muscle cells, connective tissue, and epithelial tissue. Moreover, the urethra contains two urine sphincters, one at each end. These two types of sphincters, or muscles, functioned as opening and closing valves. Firstly, there is an internal urethral sphincter which is placed at the point where the urethra leaves the bladder, and secondly, there is an external urethral sphincter located at the pelvic floor. Therefore, the flow of urine through the urethral meatus and from the bladder to the urethra is controlled by these muscular rings. A sphincter here refers to a ring-like muscle that closes a passageway. The external opening of the urethra is called the urethral meatus, sometimes referred to as the urinary meatus. The term meatus means the external opening of a canal. On to the next point, the urethra structure is different for both females and male. Firstly, the length of the female urethra is relatively short, which is roughly 1.5 inches or 3 to 4 centimeters long. Furthermore, the urethral meatus is situated between the vaginal opening and the clitoris. Additionally, the presence of two mucus glands called Skin's glands, which are located on either side of the urethra, indicates the distal end of the urethra. They are homologous to the prostate in men. The urethra in females only transports urine. On the other hand, the male urethra measures between 8 inches or 15 to 20 centimeters in length. The tip of the penis is where the urethral meatus is located. The male urethra not only carries urine but also semen, which is a fluid that contains secretions from the sex glands and spermatozoa. To add some more, within the anatomy often referred to as male, the urethra is divided into three sections. Firstly, the portion of the urethra that travels through the prostate gland to produce the semen that will be ejaculated is known as the prostatic urethra. Secondly is the urethra membrane, which is the short section of the urethra that carries fluids through the pelvic floor. And thirdly, the longest segment of the urethra is known as the penile urethra, sometimes referred to as the cavernous or spongy urethra. This segment of the urethra runs the full length of the penis and terminates at the opening outside the body known as the urethral meatus. What's more, the upper part of the tube, which is the urethra that empties the bladder of urine, is surrounded by the prostate gland, which is a component of the male reproductive system that is located in man just below the bladder. The prostate's primary function is for producing the fluid that nourishes and transports sperm, which is a seminal fluid. And it's also crucial to remember that most prostate conditions have an impact on a man's ability to urinate. Last but not least, not to be overlooked, is the urethra's primary function, which is excretion of urine. The typical process of excreting pee is known as urination, sometimes referred to as voiding or micturition. The urge to micturate or urinate is caused by pressure on the base of the urethra when the bladder fills with urine. The muscles in the bladder must contract in unison while the sphincters relax to allow urination, and as a result of this movement, urine is forced into the urethra and out of the urethral meatus.